ASAP Rocky faces 24 years in jail. Can Rihanna save him? Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we have a major update in the world of celebrity drama, and trust me, you don't want to miss this one. We're talking about none other than ASAP Rocky, the world-famous rapper, and his billionaire partner, Rihanna. But instead of making headlines for their music or fashion, they're caught up in a serious legal mess. ASAP Rocky is facing up to 24 years in prison, and things are looking really bad for him. How did he get here? What does Rihanna have to do with all this? And most importantly, can she save him? Let's break it all down. ASAP Rocky's legal nightmare. It's hard to believe that someone as successful as ASAP Rocky could be facing decades behind bars, but that's exactly what's happening right now. This whole legal disaster started back in November 2021, when Rocky allegedly got into a fight with his former friend, ASAP Rocky. Now, we all know that arguments can get heated, but this one went way too far, because it reportedly ended with gunfire. That's right. According to reports, ASAP Rocky allegedly pulled out a gun and fired multiple shots at Rocky, injuring him. For a long time, people thought that Rocky might get away with it. After all, he's a huge celebrity, and sometimes these kinds of cases fade away without real consequences. But that's not what happened here. Instead of disappearing, the case went to trial, and now, Rocky is facing a serious fight for his freedom. If he loses, he could end up spending 24 years in prison, which means his whole career, his family, and everything he's built could be at risk. Rihanna's possible role in the case now. Here's where things get really interesting. As we all know, ASAP Rocky is in a relationship with Rihanna, one of the richest and most powerful women in the world. They have 2 kids together, and they've always talked about how much they love raising their children as a team. But now, with Rocky's future looking uncertain, fans are wondering, is Rihanna going to step in and save him? A lot of people think she will, and honestly, it makes sense. If Rocky goes to jail, Rihanna will be left to raise their 2 young children alone, while also running her billion-dollar empire. That's a lot for anyone to handle, even someone as powerful as Rihanna. Because of this, there are rumors that Rihanna might pay off Rocky to make the whole thing go away. Some reports suggest that Rocky was even open to a settlement at one point, but his demands were so high that Rocky laughed it off. If that's true, it means Rihanna has a big decision to make. Should she write a fat check to keep Rocky out of jail, or should she let the court decide his fate? It's a tough call, and so far, there's no confirmation that she's paying anything. But fans are convinced that if it comes down to it, she won't let her man sit in prison for 2 decades. The shocking 2021 shooting incident. To really understand what's happening, we need to go back to where it all started, the night of the shooting. It all began with an argument between Rocky and his former friend, ASAP Rocky, who was also part of the ASAP mob crew. Nobody knows exactly what caused the argument, but whatever it was, things got heated really fast. At first, it was just a shouting match, but then it turned into a physical fight. Rocky and Rocky threw punches, and before anyone knew it, things took a dangerous turn. That's when Rocky allegedly pulled out a gun and fired multiple shots. While Rocky wasn't critically injured, he did get grazed by a bullet and ended up with minor injuries. Even though he walked away from the scene that night, this shooting has come back to haunt Rocky in a big way. Did ASAP Rocky plan the whole thing? If you thought things couldn't get any worse for Rocky, think again. Because now, Rocky's lawyers are saying that this wasn't just a random fight. They claim Rocky planned the whole thing. According to Rocky's legal team, Rocky tricked him into coming to a secluded location that night by pretending that he wanted to talk things out. But instead of making peace, Rocky allegedly pulled a gun and fired at Rocky without warning. If this is true, it completely changes the case. Instead of it being a heat-of-the-moment fight, prosecutors could argue that this was a calculated attack. And if that's the case, it makes things a lot worse for Rocky in court. Rocky's lawyers even released an official statement saying that Rocky showed up with a gun on purpose and was never planning to just talk. They claim Rocky had bad blood with Rocky for a long time, and that night, he decided to end things once and for all. If the prosecutors can prove this, Rocky could be looking at even more jail time than expected. The damning video evidence. If Rocky thought he could talk his way out of this, he's going to have a really hard time, because prosecutors have something that could destroy his whole defense: video evidence. Yes, you heard that right. A video of the incident has been shown in court, and it reportedly shows Rocky pulling a gun on Relly while Relly was running away. If this is true, it makes Rocky look really guilty, because it shows that Relly was not a threat at the time Rocky fired the gun. This video could be the nail in the coffin for Rocky's case. His lawyers will have to prove that he had a valid reason for pulling out a gun, but with footage showing him shooting at someone who was trying to get away, that's going to be a tough argument to win. And if you think that's all the drama, think again, because this case is far from over. What happens next? Will Rihanna step in and pay Relly off to end this trial? Or will ASAP Rocky take a huge risk and hope for the best in court? And why did he reject a plea deal that could have saved him from decades in jail? We're going to dive into all that and more in our next update, so stay tuned, make sure to like and subscribe, and let us know in the comments. Do you think Rihanna should pay to keep Rocky out of jail? Or should he face the consequences? The high-stakes courtroom drama. As ASAP Rocky's legal battle intensifies, the courtroom has become a battlefield where both sides are fighting tooth and nail to control the narrative. Prosecutors are not backing down, and with the video evidence against Rocky, they are making sure to paint him as a calculated criminal, rather than someone who acted in self-defense. But Rocky's legal team is fighting back, claiming that the situation has been blown out of proportion and that their client is being unfairly targeted. Inside the courtroom, every hearing has been filled with tension. The prosecution has presented evidence after evidence, showing why they believe Rocky's actions were premeditated. They have also emphasized Relly's testimony, in which he claims that Rocky pointed the gun at him with clear intent to harm. On the other hand, Rocky's lawyers have attempted to poke holes in Relly's story, suggesting that he might not be telling the full truth. Meanwhile, Rihanna has been noticeably absent from the courtroom, which has only fueled more speculation. Some fans believe she is staying out of the spotlight on purpose to avoid distractions, while others think she might be handling things behind the scenes. Regardless, her presence, or lack of it, has not gone unnoticed by the media. ASAP Rocky turns down a plea deal. One of the biggest surprises in this entire case was when Rocky rejected a plea deal that could have significantly reduced his sentence. According to reports, prosecutors offered him a deal where he would plead guilty to one felony charge in exchange for just 180 days in jail and a 7-year suspended sentence. This means that after serving 6 months, he would be placed on probation instead of facing the full 24 years behind bars. For many, this seemed like a no-brainer. A few months in jail compared to decades in prison sounded like a golden opportunity, but instead of taking it, Rocky and his lawyers refused the offer, shocking both fans and legal experts. So why did he turn it down? There are several theories floating around. Some believe that Rocky is confident his team can beat the case in court. Others think that Rihanna might have stepped in with her financial resources, making him believe he can win the trial without taking a deal. Then there's the possibility that Rocky is trying to protect his image, as a guilty plea, no matter how small the sentence, could affect his career forever. Whatever the reason, this decision has raised the stakes significantly. If Rocky loses in court, he won't just spend a few months behind bars, he could be gone for decades. The role of witness testimonies. One of the biggest challenges in this case is the witness testimonies. While Relly is the main victim, there were other people present during the shooting. The prosecution has been working hard to secure statements from those witnesses, trying to prove that Rocky was the aggressor in the situation. However, Rocky's team is not going down without a fight. His lawyers have questioned the credibility of these witnesses, suggesting that their stories have inconsistencies. They argue that some witnesses might be exaggerating or misremembering details to make Rocky look worse than he actually is. Adding another layer to the drama, reports suggest that some key witnesses might not even be willing to testify in court. If the prosecution can't get enough witnesses to back up Relly's claims, it could weaken their case significantly. But if they convince enough people to speak, it could spell disaster for Rocky. How this could impact ASAP Rocky's career. Beyond the courtroom, this case has serious consequences for ASAP Rocky's music and business empire. With major brand endorsements and music deals on the line, a conviction could destroy everything he has built. Already, some brands are distancing themselves from the rapper. While Rocky hasn't been officially dropped by any major sponsors yet, industry insiders suggest that companies are watching closely. If he gets convicted, he could lose millions in endorsement deals, and his music career could take a massive hit. Even if he manages to avoid jail time, the stigma of a trial like this could hurt his reputation. Some fans might stand by him, believing he's being targeted unfairly, but others might turn their backs on him, unwilling to support an artist with a violent criminal record. The music industry has seen similar cases before. Artists like Tory Lanez and 6ix9ine have faced legal troubles that derailed their careers. Will ASAP Rocky suffer the same fate? Or will he manage to come out of this unscathed? Rihanna's silence and the public's reaction. While ASAP Rocky is fighting for his freedom, fans are also keeping a close eye on Rihanna. Her silence throughout the trial has been deafening, leading to endless speculation. Is she working behind the scenes to save Rocky? Or is she secretly preparing for the worst? Some reports claim that she has already made her decision, that she's not willing to pay Relly's high settlement demand. If true, this would mean that Rocky will have to fight his battle alone, without Rihanna using her wealth to influence the outcome. Fans have mixed reactions to this. Some believe Rihanna is making the right choice by not getting involved. Others feel like she should do everything in her power to save Rocky, since they have a family together. The debate has sparked major discussions on social media, with fans arguing over whether or not Rihanna is obligated to help. At the same time, Rocky's bold decision to reject a plea deal has only made fans more nervous. If Rihanna isn't stepping in, and the evidence is stacked against him, then why does Rocky seem so confident? Does he have a backup plan that nobody knows about? As the trial continues, and the stakes couldn't be higher, will Rocky find a way out of this mess? Or is he about to face the biggest downfall of his career? Stay tuned for more updates as we follow this high-profile case.